violence, infection, Hep B or C, smoked, are pregnant or planning. Don't take if allergic or have an infection.
Put UC and Crohn's in check and keep them there with Rinvoq.
Ask your gastroenterologist about Rinvoq.
Boom! I got hit by a car.
Boom! Just like that, I was hurt in a car accident.
A car accident can hit you out of nowhere. But when you call us, boom! Just like that, we can help you get your life back on track.
The Law Brothers went above and beyond and settled my case for $250,000.
Over $930,000 for my case. Boom, baby!
Call us. We're the Law Brothers.
Call 1-800-222-2222.
KTLA 5 News, now weeknights at 7.
Now at noon, LA County's new top prosecutor, Nathan Hochman, is set to officially take office in a matter of minutes. Thanks for joining us for the KTLA 5 News at noon. I'm Glenn Walker.
And I'm Lou Parker. Hochman defeated incumbent DA George Gascon in last month's election. He promised a tougher approach on crime than his predecessor. KTLA 5's Lauren Lister live now at the Hall of Justice, where the new DA is set to be sworn in sometime soon. Lauren?
Yeah, Glenn and Lou, it's set to begin any moment. It was supposed to happen around 12, hasn't started yet. Former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to be doing the actual swearing in. A number of other speakers also set to take the podium. I want to give you a look at the crowd. So here you have people that are sort of outside of the barricades here along Spring Street, but the street is closed off. Just general traffic can't come through here on foot or in cars. And then beyond that, you have a smaller number of people inside the ceremony. It is, a heavily guarded event. You have to be on the list to get into either of these spots. Take a look. Nathan Hochman, he beat incumbent District Attorney George Gascon by nearly 20 points in the November election. He campaigned on a promise to restore balance to a criminal justice system he said has become too lenient to violent and repeat offenders under his progressive predecessor. Hochman is a former Republican. He ran as an independent in this election. Formerly, he was a federal prosecutor. He's also been a defense attorney and assistant U.S. Attorney General. The union that represents LA County rank and file prosecutors this morning, they told me how they are reacting to Hochman's swearing in.
We are really excited to see a new DA coming in. He is looking to be a very collaborative leader for this office who respects the experience and talent of the DAs that are working for this office. We're already seeing change. We've already gotten more time meeting with him than we got from the prior administration in 4 years.
Hochman has vowed to do away with many of the policies that were put into place by George Gascon. For one, he said he plans to remove a policy that barred prosecutors from filing a number of low-level misdemeanor charges. He's also pledged to undo Gascon's ban on seeking the death penalty, though I should mention the governor has a moratorium on the death penalty being carried out. He's also said prosecutors will have more discretion in seeking sentencing enhancements, which can add prison time for defendants convicted of gun or gang crimes. Gascon had drastically restricted those enhancements. Here's Hochman on KTLA after winning the election, talking about his positions.
We've been living with an extreme pro-criminal policy that was called decarceration, a policy that predetermined that certain crimes and certain criminals would not be prosecuted, notwithstanding the facts and the law. I reject that extreme, but I also reject the extreme of mass incarceration. Another policy that says we're not going to look at the facts of the law, we're just going to put as many people in prison as possible. I come down in the middle, and I call it the hard work middle or the hard middle.
He calls it the middle, the hard middle, he says, because each case should be examined individually on a number of elements, and saying that takes hard work. Now, a nationally high-profile case he inherits is that of the Menendez brothers who murdered their parents back in 1989, and you may recall Gascon recently recommended they be resentenced and eligible for parole right away. Well, Hochman says he's going to do a thorough review of the facts of the case and the laws. He's going to review prison records, trial transcripts, speak to the lawyers involved, also law enforcement and victim family family members to get a full view of the case to formulate his position. Now, back out here live, we will bring you any updates from here as soon as this begins. In addition to the former Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, we're also set to speak from other public officials, including the LAPD chief as well as the LA County Sheriff. There have also been reports that Black Lives Matter is planning to protest, but we have not seen that yet. We will continue to watch it all. For now, live in downtown LA, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Lauren Lister, thank you. We are following developing news here locally that has international implications.
Federal officials have arrested a man who they say supplied North Korea with weapons and other military-grade equipment. Alina Bovian is in downtown Los Angeles with those details. Hi, Alina.
Hi there, Lou and Glenn. Well, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office, they say that this is an issue of major, national security. And the person who was arrested today, he told the FBI investigators that he was chosen to do this job because he is, quote, a good smuggler. Now, take a look at these images. These are released during the press conference today here at the federal building. Evidence tied to this case. According to the criminal complaint, the suspect is a person by the name of Shenghua Wen, a 41-year-old Chinese national who was here in the United States illegally, specifically in Ontario, California. He was taken into custody today for allegedly buying and exporting guns and ammunition to North Korea at the direction of North Korean agents who funneled to him $2 million to purchase the equipment. We're told that last year in 2023, he shipped 2 containers of guns from Long Beach to Hong Kong, where they were then smuggled into North Korea. Additionally, according to prosecutors, Wen admitted to trying to obtain military uniforms in an effort to help North Korean soldiers disguise themselves to, quote, conduct a surprise attack against South Korea. A little background on this person. Wen came to the U.S. on a student visa in 2012 and lived in Ontario, California. He told investigators he met with North Korean officials in China before coming to the United States, and they directed him to procure arms, firearms, ammunition, technology on behalf of Pyongyang. Wen is charged with conspiracy to violate U.S. sanctions on North Korea. During the recent raid, FBI agents recovered 50,000 rounds of ammunition from Wen's car.
In a search of his home, including a van parked outside of his home, we found over 50,000 rounds of ammunition, which Mr. Wen admitted he was planning to send to North Korea. We also found pieces of high-grade technology in his home that he was also planning to send to North Korea. This included a chemical threat identification device and a device for detecting hidden listening devices.
Now, it's still unclear if Mr. Wen directly worked for the North Korean government. That's still part of the investigation. But also, according to the affidavit, he was using an app to send and receive encrypted messages back and forth. I'm Lena Berman reporting live here in downtown LA, KTLA 5 News.
All right, thank you, Alina. We continue to follow breaking news in South Korea, where that nation's president says he will lift his declaration of martial law. Yoon Suk-yeol made the declaration late last night, saying it was necessary to protect the country from, quote, communist forces in North Korea. He said the main opposition party had paralyzed government with repeated impeachment attempts against some officials. Yoon had banned all political activity and took over the news media. But earlier this morning, lawmakers unanimously voted to block the decree. Yoon was obligated to comply with that vote. Well, there have been concerns about overcrowding and lack of volunteers at LA animal shelters.
And now the general manager of LA Animal Services has stepped down. Kimberly Chang, live in Van Nuys with those details. Hi, Kimberly.
Lou, Glenn, hi. This is one of the largest municipal shelter systems in the country. The LA Animal Services serves about 60,000 animals annually, and now new leadership is expected. Staff, volunteers, and partners received a letter stating that General Manager Stacey Daines resigned over the weekend. It's not clear why Daines left, but she has reportedly been on paid leave since August. Her hiring was announced back in 2023, and since that time, there has been criticism over overcrowding in shelters and the number of animals euthanized. According to data from LA Animal Services, this year through October, more than 1,300 dogs were killed at the city's 6 shelters, a 73% increase compared with the same period a year ago. There was roughly 1,800 kittens killed through October. Now that's a roughly 4% decrease from the same time period in 2023. Brittany Thorne with Best Friends Animal Society, a rescue group that works with LA City shelters, says overcrowding and understaffing has been a big concern in shelters.
A letter was sent out yesterday to partners, so Best Friends receives all of those emails, and it was just laid out in there that Stacy had officially resigned. There has been overcrowding in LA Animal Services for a long time. In the last year, it has really gotten a lot worse. And what we're seeing is animals are coming in every day, and there are not the appropriate staffing levels at the shelters to help get these animals out.
Now, we have learned that Assistant General Manager Annette Ramirez has stepped up to the role as interim general manager. We have reached out to Animal Services for a comment, as well as the LA Mayor's office on a search for a new GM, and we will let you know when we hear back. Reporting live in Van Nuys, Kimberly Chang, KTLA 5 News.
Kimberly, thank you. A new twist today in the case of a Maui woman originally thought to be missing in Los Angeles. Hannah Kobayashi traveled to Mexico on her own, according to the LAPD. And now Hannah's aunt, Laurie Pigeon, tells KTLA, despite what the police say, her search is not over. And knowing the 30-year-old crossed the border on November 12th does not provide the answers she needs. Police are now classifying her as a voluntary missing person. Meantime, last week, her father took his own